I'd really love to know. How many of you actually knew that this was taking place? What about this? Did any of you know that this was taking place?
I know we made a mistake not having the press come in here from the minute, the first moment of this, of these testimonies. They're powerful. These are people that are fighting for freedom. It's just that simple. We've already seen tears here. I didn't expect that. It doesn't surprise me.
Oh, but I am sure that many of you probably watched this and heard this last night.
We've got a lot of information coming in, and we're hearing, in fact, that the polls didn't even raise this with the Secretary of State in person when he was there in Poland just a couple of days ago.
There's an American freedom convoy 62 miles long, and nobody wants you to know. Our media won't touch it.
C&D presents the No BS Show. With your hosts, Chris Mize and Doug Dock. It's the No BS Show. Take it away, guys.
Take it away.
Here we are.
Trying something new tonight. We'll see. Debbie's got a shock thing on this, so when I start swearing, she's like a shock collar.
That is awesome.
It saps my ears, which shuts my mouth.
You're thinking.
First off, I want to thank all the veterans out there. Without you guys, we couldn't do shows like this. Thank all the military serving overseas and homeland. Say a couple extra prayers for you guys. Got a feeling that you might be needed again real soon. Want to thank all our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, and tow truck drivers.
You got it.
So here we are. No content.
No content for tonight. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, you know, the government's been. I tell you what. Just to get off track real quick, Doug. I'm trying to get this so y'all can see one of the best posts I've seen in a long time. I started laughing my ass off, Debbie. What are you laughing at? They got a picture of Deshaun Watson, just a picture of him in a Browns uniform. And it says, caption, reporter asks the question, what made you change your mind, on the decision to come to Cleveland? Deshaun puts under there, I hear the ice fishing in Hudson's off the hook. And only a few people are going to get that, Right. I got it. I started laughing my ass off.
Right. Anybody that
looks at me and goes,
she needs to listen to the show every once in a while, and she'll know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, she can't hear you. She can't hear you.
Well, let her know
that.
Okay.
That was funny. I don't care. Only a few people are going to get that, and a bunch of people are going to be in Cleveland and all over going, what's he mean by that? What's that mean?
Now, have you been? I'm sure that you've been just racking your brain. I wonder what Nancy Pelosi's doing right now.
No, I bet she's drinking a drink.
Well, maybe that is what happened. Watch this, and you tell me.
Oh, God.
Let's get back to the question, the larger issue about Putin's tax. That's really Putin's gas hike. That's his gas hike. So much of this increase in the gas tax, gas price started weeks leading up to what happened there.
I don't know about that, Nancy.
Did Pelosi and Biden go to the same school of speaking?
Okay.
That's Putin's gas hike. It
Let-
ain't Putin's gas hike.
Then let's watch this one.
I just want to dig into that a little bit more on the COVID relief.
This will be your third time.
My third time. What? Ask about COVID relief?
Yeah.
Well, it's substantive. You like substantive questions, so I just want to
Yeah,
make sure.
while people are dying in the Ukraine and all of that,
People are dying from COVID too. Do you plan to offset it? How do you?
We have to offset it.
You do have to offset
We
it.
have to offset it, and that's what we'll have to go to. And I would hope that the sensitivities of those to any offset would be the equity of it would be weighed as to what we need to do to save lives and livelihood and prevent the creation of a new variant. Yeah, it would be offset.
You said you're disappointed. I mean,
Yeah,
what is your
we don't have
message?
it right now. That we don't have it right now. We have everything else right now. That we don't have it right now.
Message to those colleagues who nitpick kind of over that.
I've communicated my message to them.
Wow.
Well, COVID. What do you mean? COVID's over.
Oh,
Why
no,
you bring
no.
COVID up.
No. Now you bring me to this one.
Look at, I was going to say, look at this stage, but that's enough too. Look at the stage. But there's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me. That's not together. The second lady, the first gentleman. How about that? Anyway, an incredible group of members of Congress led by Nancy.
Oh, just shaking our heads. This is a group that runs this.
The country. This is a group that runs the country. And you know, he even said it himself. It's me that's not together. No shit, Einstein. Captain Obvious. You know what I like, though, is Putin's got them all scared. And it ain't because of war. It's because he come out and says, okay, these people are sanctioned. Your Russian bank accounts and anything tied up asset-wise with Russia, you're sanctioned. You can't do anything with it. It's froze. But why did he name Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton?
Well,
why were they in on that? You got to ask yourself some questions. The names that he gives, Psaki was in on that, wasn't she?
Yep. Jen Psaki.
But Hillary Clinton, she hasn't been in office in how long?
A long time, but
she hasn't been, I mean, Hunter Biden, how much money does he have in a Russian bank? How much does Joe Biden have in a Russian bank? Why? Why? Is what I'd like to know. Why?
Well, good.
Do I get you stuck there?
No, I'm looking up. Sounds like our applause meter.
You wanted the door. Yeah.
No, he's in his studio. Only has one light bulb, so if he closes the door, he looks like he's silhouette. Hillary Clinton, Lloyd Austin. Who's the other one? Blinken. State Attorney, Secretary of State. I mean, Jen Psaki. They all have accounts over there that they can't get to now. Why do they have it over there? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, but nobody's asking that.
Well, that's a fair statement because that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, nobody. You don't see it in the media. They ain't asking it. Why do you got accounts there?
There is a whole thing of censorship.
Hold on, Doug. Personal accounts. Them are their personal accounts, not government accounts. Personal accounts. Okay, go on with the censorship.
So Russia censors all their media.
Well, we know that. We proved it last week.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to prove that the U.S. does the same thing over here, because there's been a story that's been that the who reported this? New York Times. When you watch the news, you'll hear them always refer to New York Times. New York Times just released a report on a report of it, and they take it and they run with it. Well, the New York Times been reporting laptop emails from 2020 on the Hunter Biden scandal.
Yeah.
CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC has not said a word about it.
They're not gonna.
And they're not going to.
They're not gonna. And this was a scandal that everybody was up in arms during the campaign.
So it's
whatever happened to that laptop? Is it with Hillary's?
I'm not sure if it's in the washing machine with hers or not.
Yeah, right.
But they've been on this thing for a couple years now, and you don't hear anything about it. Now, Fox is reporting that Hunter Biden may be indicted here very soon, within the next month or so.
In the United States or Ukraine?
The United States. But you don't hear that anyplace else.
He was under investigation in Ukraine.
Right.
If you dig deep on this. Listen, people, I'm going to say it again, and it's not a popular comment. And if anybody gets offended by it, I don't care. It's my feelings. I don't agree with what Putin's doing right now at all, for the simple fact he bombed some hospitals. He bombed, Doug. He went into agreed to a ceasefire so people get out of the country safely that wanted to flee. And an hour and a half later started bombing again. Innocent people getting killed. This, that. But if you dig deep into the situation, I'm sure you'd find, we'll never know, Putin had some reasons, because Zelensky in Ukraine is a corrupt, dirty country. I'm telling you. Why all of a sudden, Doug, does he come on this week say, I don't want to join NATO now? That's what 70% of this fight was over. 60%.
Well, right. He said that last week, but then he came to the U.S. and Canada and said, can you help me?
Zoom conference to our Congress.
Yeah.
Can you help me? Well, you say you don't want to be a part of NATO.
Right.
How can we help you? You know what I'm saying?
But we are.
Well, yeah, we're sending them 800 men.
Right. In arms.
Yeah. So the 800 million could do a lot of good here in the United States for our senior citizens.
So could 100 million.
100 million. And we'll just go into this for a second, because me and you had conversation this afternoon. We figured it up, and I think I said last week on here, 11.5 million people in Ohio. 100 million that we got to send back to federal government, because Dwayne, who wanted to be a badass today, oh man, it's a wonder he didn't get his ass whooped, but he didn't use it. With business and everything that was shutting down, he let 100 million fly back out that could have been used for COVID relief. Now, when we said you get what was $8,000 to $9,000 check, every person in the census, 11.5 million people,
right,
in Ohio. Doug brought something up to me I didn't even think about. How many of that in that census were kids? So we took and went, okay, let's just say 8 million people. That's 11,500 or some shit like that. I think it was.
Right now, and I just pulled it up. As of, let's say, a year ago, the state of Ohio has 2.5 million residents over the age of 60.
So, okay, and where I'm going with this, we figured 3 million. Okay, we'll just go with that number. 3 million people in Ohio, state of Ohio, that are on Social Security. Let's just say, so it's less, but when these numbers come out, you understand where I'm going with it. Inflation, gas prices gone up, food. I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Everybody knows. We've been bitching about it for a couple weeks. It's costing you almost double what it costs you at the grocery stores. Gas is costing you double. Prescriptions went up. Our Social Security went up this year 8%, but the Medicare tax went up 10%. So in a sense, the raise they give them, they had to give that raise back plus a little. Now, what are you doing with these? This is my question. Question, Facebook and YouTube, so don't get all jerked off. What are you doing to help these seniors that are on Social Security on a fixed income? They didn't get a raise with inflation. You're pushing it to kids. Joe Biden makes a speech in the State of the Union. Leave the wages the way they are, keep them up. You companies need to figure out how to cut costs to get, what are you doing for our seniors? You take that 100 million, divide it in half, 50 million. To them 3 million people, Doug, they're getting $15,000.
Right. Which is probably a little less than what they're making a year. So that would have helped them out through probably, and we talked about this. Most people over 60, they're pretty good with their money. They don't go frivolously buy things. That would have got them through the next couple of years, which is going to be tough for anybody that's out there working.
Yeah.
Are you sitting on the freeway?
No. Greg Daniels, hey, he give me, I got to see if I can show you guys a picture. Greg Daniels from Dunn, buddy of mine from Dunn, one of the few guys still like me from South Georgia,
Wow.
as a cup company. Well, he's got a company that does etching and cups and different things. Greg, put your company name up in there, and trying to find it, but he's sending me a cup, Doug. So I want to get his name up in that.
So you got a cup.
He's sending me a cup. Oh, there it is. Read it.
Hey, Putin, nuke this. There you go.
Mickey Mouse flipping him off. But, he did that cup. He's going to send it to me. Greg, make sure you put your name and address and everything. Hey, look at this. You got to love it. You got to love it. So make sure you put that up in there, Greg. But anyways, so we figured, let's just say 2 people in the house, Social Security, Doug, that'd be around $30,000. That would get them through the next year or two of this inflation. But
What did I say that they can't do?
Dixie woodworking and gifts.
Okay, we're all over the place here. So, what did I say?
Joe Given.
Giving money to the seniors.
Well, what he's going to say, I guarantee you, is what he's going to come back with is that was earmarked for
COVID
pandemic.
Yeah,
COVID
and
pandemic.
we talked about that. Who got hurt the worst? Business owners and seniors.
Yes. So, regardless, you can, it doesn't matter. We threw $100 million away. That even if you took half that, sent it back to the government in the state of Ohio, and I know. But we know that, and we understand that it had to be earmarked for COVID relief and that shit. But even if you took half that and set aside and made some, government lies to us every day.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. They could have.
Lie to us about something good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, hold on, I'll be right back.
You leaving?
No.
Oh yeah.
I like this.
He's turning off the light.
Don't I look a lot better like this, though? Where you can't see me?
Right. Yeah.
We understand that, Joe. That they can't because it wasn't COVID. They could have given it to small businesses though through that shut down. They could have used that $100 million. It's just like the rainy day fund, Doug. How much did DeWine sit on? What was it? $1.2 billion or some
Yeah.
dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't use it. Instead, what he does is he cuts people on Social Security don't have money to spend money. Well, I know, but the thing of it is, Joe, is if they'd have got $14,000 a piece, they could have made it through this whole time a little easier. In a loud toilet, but flushing Biden down the shitter. but the whole point of it is we didn't help our small business in Ohio the way we should have.
And we gave away
took
money.
Remember? We gave it out in a lottery.
Yeah, and
we gave it out $100 a crack to somebody from. My whole point was vaccinations. Well, if you get a vaccination, you get $100. Well, what about everybody got the vaccination before that time? You didn't give them $100. Yeah, right. And scholarships, Mike, you're right. And so the rainy day fund had $1.2 billion in it. And I don't know if you guys remember this back in 2020 when we started this show. We were bitching about it in November. Instead, what's he do? He cut $300 million or something out of the school systems. Doug made cuts to the school systems and stuff like that. And he had, I don't know about you all. I'd sure say the pandemic was one hell of a rainy day for her fund to be used.
Yeah.
And here we find out this son of a bitch has to give $100 million back, and it can be used for this. And I can tell you what, he's lucky he didn't get his ass whooped today.
Before we get into that, because we vote in adults. We'll get into
We vote in adults.
Yeah, so they can do what they want.
We also vote in snot-nosed little punk kids too.
Yes, we do that too. So we're still talking a little bit about censorship. All the Russia stuff's all censored now. All the Biden stuff is censored, and it's come down as far as like the Wall Street Journal hasn't gained traction on the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing with the emails. They call it explosive emails, and you would think that would pique the interest of CNN just to see what's going on, but they don't mention it. NBC, ABC, CBS, nobody mentions it. Fox does, but who listens to Fox?
Well, they're starting another game out there. You got this censorship going on. We know information. I mean, come on. Iran sends ballistic missiles. We talked about this last week, and I'm not going to discuss a lot of it. Sends missiles over, and it hits our base or whatever, in that area. We find out from Sky News out of Australia 5-10 minutes after it happens, and you don't hear nothing on mainstream media in the United States for almost 2 hours.
Right. And we haven't heard anything more about it, have we?
Not one thing. And it was I'm talking mainstream media, CBS, Fox, all of them, Fox included on that. So what are they waiting on? To see what Biden or see what the government says they can say?
Yeah. Yep.
And the other thing, don't you find it ironic that Putin comes out with this shit Friday? With Hunter Biden, Hillary.
Right.
Don't you find it ironic that the gas prices, I mean, they didn't drop extensively, but
they're starting to go down.
$3.86 today for gas, and it's like $4.70 something for diesel. All of a sudden, that's dropping down. We're getting fucked right in the ass. Right in the ass. No KY. Nothing. Wow. No spit, nothing. We're getting sand thrown in there and right by our federal government. Right by them. And it's so starting to be so socialist, communist, it ain't even funny. And we got a bunch of people sitting out there going, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
There's only a small percentage of the millennials that actually, like Kevy's all about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they
my
go
son
to work
Chad,
from home and
My son Chad, he, and his buddy Jake, they get into a lot of it. He wants to come on the show. You couldn't, can't get him on tonight, but I don't know. He's got his opinions on the government right now and everything
I'd love
else,
to hear him.
and we'll have him on next week. We'll have him and Jake on next week, one of them at least. And, I ain't bring Kevy on, Kevy's, but. The fact of the matter is and Greg, I don't know what's going on down there in Georgia, but I can tell you this. I don't understand. The people of Georgia, along with the people of Ohio then, should be screaming that this money wasn't used to save some of the small businesses that went right out. It's terrible.
But the worst part about it is we're sending so much outside the U.S. We are spending so much money out there.
800 million, another,
all the Afghanistan stuff.
Where the hell's it coming from?
That's what I want to know. We're in bad shape. Last week we played a clip right at the end of the show of kids singing "We Are the World" or whatever we are.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, boy, you just don't have a clue what you're getting. We are leaving you in some bad shit.
You're getting a tax debt. On the one that they passed, what was it, Doug? Last year they passed one. It wasn't the Build Back Better one, but you can't find that clip anymore either. That congressman coming out of Congress said, "I don't even know why I'm here." $17,000. I have 4 grandbabies, and Bella's 7 or 8. Scarlett's 2. Mike will be 4 in June. Malia just turned 5. They got $17,000 in debt hanging on their head right now.
Yep, right now. Yep.
From our federal government.
The minute you're born, that's what you got.
Yeah, you got that coming. And we keep sending. Where's it coming from? Yeah, I believe that, Mike.
Now, going back to censorship, do you see anything wrong with this?
Let's go, Brandon. Fine job, Brian. No.
What?
Oh, let's go, Brandon, and fuck Joe Biden. And then it's got the snake emblem on it, which we all know, it stands for. Yeah. Watch your ass is what it means. So there you go, Joe. It's a real plate. It is really out there. The guy that owns the plate was ordered to return it. Why?
Because they said that it's an offensive license plate.
To who?
There you go.
There ain't anybody on this show take offense to that license plate.
Well, here's what it really means. The guy said, this is what it really means. It means, let's go, Brandon, forget Joe Biden.
So what? How? It doesn't, because it says that now. If it said, let's go, Brandon, fuck Donald Trump, they wouldn't have a problem with it.
See, that's the problem is like, who decided that? Who just got up and go, oh, no, you can't do that because this is what it really means.
Yeah.
Who decided that? Now, here's what did end up happening was the guy, he went to him and went, I'm not turning it back in. I don't know what the problem is. Well, it's let's go, Brandon. It's derogatory towards Joe Biden. He goes, no, it's let's go, Brandon. Forget Joe Biden.
Look at Greg's comment.
Yes.
Greg Miller.
Yes. And
he should. And he should. But who paid for the time out of that guy's day to have to go down and meet with him?
Right. And send letters and emails and make phone calls.
He shouldn't even have to.
Because they were going to find him. If he didn't get it within 10 days, he'd face fines ranging from $500 to $1,000, in addition to having the vehicle registration revoked.
Here you go. Censorship and communism starting to take place.
All
you don't
over.
think it's here. It's here. It's here.
Let me give you one more. And you guys just tell me what you think.
Let's go, Brandon. Forget Joe
All right.
Biden.
This happened on a Delta Airlines plane.
Captain does not wants to come and speak
Okay, well,
to you, okay?
I need to get his name and his class number.
I'll give you everything. So
Are you sure? Because I got you on. Okay.
I'll give you then I'll give you anything.
Okay.
Come and take your honey.
So, well, can I get my luggage off the airplane, please?
Step up, we're gonna take care of that. All right? Cold tower. Cold tower? Yeah. Cold tower. Okay. All right, okay. You got my phone, right?
Can I stick in my luggage or can I stick in my luggage under the airplane?
Luggage is gonna go. It's Los Angeles, your final
Yes.
destination? It's gonna be in Los Angeles. Let corporate security know who wants his luggage off the aircraft. That's someone in the corporate security. Corporate security. No. Luggage off the aircraft. All right. What is the SIN number? 35. Could you repeat that? Okay, let's go up. I'm gonna call. Yeah, you talk to me.
What is your name?
My name is Charlene.
Charlena? Do you have a badge number or anything? Or
My first name is fine. I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
And you're the supervisor?
My supervisor is back here.
Okay, what's her name?
He wants your name.
Oh, sure. I'll have a conversation with you, Shirley. You can go.
Okay, this is... Wow. This is one day after sitting down with Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Johnson in the Capitol building. I get kicked off for wearing a hoodie, which I made a phone call. They said to take it off to get to my destination. Took it off. I took it off, and yeah, I'm still getting kicked off the airplane. So that's the airplane I just got kicked off of.
Would you wouldn't.
Wait. They said take it off. He took it off and they still threw him off.
Yeah, but he's wearing it, so I don't.
Well, after he's getting thrown off, I'd have put it back on too. Here's my before we get into this. Did he pass? He had to pass through TSA and all them to get on that plane. Am I correct?
Right.
If you're going to have restrictions like that, shouldn't it be caught at TSA?
Well, yes and no. The airplanes are they're private companies, so they can decide what they want. Just like at the track.
Yeah, I see your point. But freedom of speech is gone. Now, I wouldn't wear that because...
Let's say you're taking your kids on a vacation, and I think if they would have pulled him off the plane and said, "Hey, listen, there's kids on here. There's people that
we get your statement, but
yeah.
Now, if it was Let's Go Brandon sweatshirt and they threw him off, yeah, there should be a lot of uproar. There's a fine line. Listen, there's a fine line. I get that freedom of speech and everything, but you always got to remember freedom of speech does come with some consequences. And,
was there a better way to handle this? Oh, absolutely. Just just listen. There's kids on this plane. There's people who don't understand.
Just say you're out. Not just say you're out.
Yep. You need to come off here.
You're out.
And not give his luggage. His luggage went to L.A. wherever he's from.
Yeah. As long as where's my luggage? Well, it'll be in L.A.
Right. Oh, so I got to take this off and just go around with nothing on.
Well, who pays for the flight now? That's my question.
No
Who pays
idea.
for the flight?
No idea.
Here's the thing. And just personal opinion. You got a right to wear anything you want. You wear something like that, where there's kids in it. It's a fine line. I'm not going to side either way. I don't agree with them throwing them off. I think they should have made them take it off. But the whole thing of this is, if you can remember, Trump was getting beat up every day on Facebook and everywhere by a lot of these people. Nobody ever said anything, Doug. Facebook didn't give people, this Facebook jail, you really had to do something pretty bad back,
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And now every time we turn around, we're getting people put in Facebook jail off our show. If you say the wrong thing and they don't like it, and it's not what the left agenda wants, you're getting put in Facebook jail. You're getting threatened. You're getting this. Wait a minute. There's shit that's been said on this show in that chat room. It was their shit where we knew you were going to jail, but there's stuff that was said that was very questionable, and they've gotten kicked off. And I don't get it.
The one last week who trannied didn't get kicked off for it. Now, Tammy, I think we can change your mind on this, because if you have kids, and let's say you were walking down the hallway and the one kid had N-word on their shirt, you probably would not appreciate that in any way, shape, or form.
She got a right to disagree, but I feel there's a fine line when you wear something like that. I don't know. I think it should have been handled different. He shouldn't have been thrown off the plane. I think can you take it off till you get to the other airport, and whatever, but we got people on here. But on the flip side of that, you're sitting down on an airplane for how many hours? Who's going to see it?
Right. Unless you go to the bathroom and then you come back out.
Yeah. Hey, fuck Biden.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see both sides of it.
But that's the way this world's going. See, but we let this go, and this is what this country's come to. We've let that go. We've let Pepe Le Pew. No fight about that. Snow White. No fight about that. And we said back when that shit started happening, Yosemite Sam. Remember that, Doug? We started saying, "Hang on, because they ain't gonna stop there."
Right.
A lot of your shit's gonna get taken. And boom, 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 snowball effect.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I guess if the only thing I can think of is there's just a better way to handle it, because we made the FUCK word a bad word. It could have had STOP, and we wouldn't have said a word about it.
Listen, here's a fine example, and we talked about this. Maybe it was me and somebody else. It might have been Mark. We had a safety truck at the track, and I knew that they printed the 13 soldiers' names on the back of the truck, and it had on the top, "Fuck Biden," and I knew it and forgot about it. Goes out on the track, guy that's at the track all the time. I was walking to go to the pits. He stops me and he said, "Hey, you know, there's kids in that." And I look and seen it as it went by, and I said, "You're absolutely right. I forgot about it. I was going to make him cover it for." We took that truck off the track and another one. And so, it's all on how you handle the situation. I went back to the guy that owned the truck and said, "Damn, dude, we forgot." And he goes, "Just use the other one, and I won't have it on." And when that truck come back out and we were using it, it was never back on there for our races. Why couldn't they have handled it like that instead of saying get off? I didn't tell him, "Take your truck and get the hell out of here." I was patting him on the back in a way, but
right.
And I'm sure we're going to catch some shit this year, maybe not. Our flag will stay at half staff till Joe Biden
is no longer in office.
Well, acknowledges,
he won't ever. He'll die before he does
it. When Joe Biden leaves, because honestly, it's a slow death of a country. You look around, it's a slow death of the United States with this administration. Every flag should be at half staff, because it's just a slow death. It's like somebody you've known your whole life, and all of a sudden they get cancer, and it doesn't take them in 6 months. It doesn't take them in a year. You watch some people suffer for 4 years, and that's what we're going through. We got cancer in Washington, D.C. And the censorship and everything else that's coming. What they're doing is they're trying to get everything their way before midterms and before elections in November. They're going to lose the House. And that's why they're trying to push. You know, I had heard, I don't know how true it is, Doug, but I had heard they're back on the voter bill again. They're going to try to get that through. Why not? We got a war going on with Russia and Ukraine, inflation off the chart, you know, gas prices up. Now they're bringing it back down a little. We got all this shit going on. Why wouldn't they try to push that through in the middle of the night now? If they do, we're in trouble. We're in deep trouble. We're in deep trouble. You might as well sign up for Communist Magazine and start reading it and see how you're going to live. Because within 3 to 4 years, if this all happens, that's the way we're going to live. You know, distribution of wealth. You bust your ass, make $100,000 this year, $120,000. Jim Bob don't leave his house. You know, I guarantee you, distribution of wealth. You're 50,000. You'll be making 50, and Jim Bob will be making 50 because distribution of wealth.
Right.
And that's the direction to do.
And they do it through tax. We're gonna take a little bit from you to give to this guy.
Yeah. Good.
This one that's been on welfare, and I know several people who've been on welfare their entire life. Like that's their job, to try to figure out ways around so that they can stay on welfare.
Right.
And
it's sad. It's sad that you know this. I don't know. You know, I try not to get upset on this show. If anybody's noticed, I've been trying to maintain. I went off last week. I had every reason to go off last week. Every fucking reason to go off last week. Keystone Pipeline XL can be finished in 8 months if they would have let them finish. And I don't want to go off about it again, but I'm gonna. If they would have let it finish. Okay. I guarantee you, if they signed the papers and went back now, they'd double up. We got construction. Mike Rutherford's retired from. We got people to know. They would double up right now and have it done in 5 months and get it done. Keystone Pipeline is running. This is the Keystone XL, and there's trunk lines that go over to Keystone. You know, so the only reason you have to remember, and I'll say this 20 shows from now, Doug. The way to hurt Russia's economy is we shut the Nord Stream pipeline down. And I praise the Ukrainian citizens for taking out the guns they have and fighting the Russians. He shut our pipeline down and they tried to take the guns in the gun bill. So what? What's that tell you? You know?
So, and I've worked with kids, you know, a lot in my life, and one of the things that I don't think any of them seem to understand is what freedoms we have, because that you were born into it. You don't know anything else, and you haven't been overseas, so you don't see how other people live. And where you do go, it's kind of like, you know, Canada, which live just like us, Mexico, you know,
Bahamas, whatever. You're going to the resort area when you go.
Now I think that since the war in Russia and Ukraine has started, that these kids, because, you know, I still get calls from these kids that'll be like, do you think World War III is going to happen? Do you think World War III is going to happen?
Good.
Because now they're seeing what they really live like. And, you know, like last week, we had that perfect example of the Ukrainian calling his dad and Russia and his dad not having a clue what was going on, and argued with them about it. And I think I'm really interested to hear what Chad has to say, because I think it's woke some people up. You're taking our freedoms for granted.
Yeah.
Now you understand why we have a military to protect them, because and we're losing them right here at home, and it starts right here with that idiot who is starting to censor things so that you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
We're going to do this, so you're looking this way, so we can do that. It's the worst I've ever seen it. Worst I've ever seen it. It's kind of embarrassing. You go out there and you fight for what we have, and then you got an idiot there that's just taking it all away.
There was a report, I don't know how true it is, 3 Russian warships, some of their bigger ones, was spotted outside of Japan heading back home. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. I heard some of our supply ships are stranded out there somewhere.
Imagine that.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, I can't believe that some of our, you talk about China, does China want World War III? No.
No.
Do they want an economic World War III? Yes. Yes. China doesn't, and everybody, China will start in with the nukes. China's trying to prevent nuking. China has one goal of taking over the world and being a leader. When they take over, they don't want to have to rebuild things, Doug, and redo things. They want to take over country by country economically, so they've already got the infrastructure right there. China doesn't want to see a nuclear war. If you can remember a few weeks when Putin popped off about his nuclear shit, China, they didn't like that comment. You ain't heard nothing about it since. He ain't said it again. China didn't like it, and he ain't said it again. So can there be World War III? Yeah, real quickly. But I believe it'll be something different. It'll be technology. I mean, I think it'll be all what we're doing to each other right now. These sanctions, that sanctions. I don't believe in all the sanctions that we got on Russia, Doug. I don't believe you're hurting Russian citizens that you seen last week don't even have a clue what's going on with Ukraine. They have no clue. They don't even know they're in a war.
Right.
And you're hurting these citizens by some of these sanctions. And all you're doing is give them foot and fire. You're giving them gas to throw on a fire. See, look, we're not doing nothing wrong over here, and we're trying to help Ukraine. And the United States jumping in, and they're the ones that took your money. They're the ones that hurt you, not me. It's going to backfire on us.
Now, while we were all looking over there at Russia, Ukraine, China, Biden and his dumbness, our legislators for the United States, they were busy, and they passed on Friday the Crown Act. Huh?
Okay. Explain the Crown Act.
The Crown Act stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act. And this is because that women with certain hair types are discriminated against.
What? What hair types?
This deals with black women mostly, but some white women. Depending upon how they do their hair, they're discriminated against. Now, you cannot do that now.
Where?
The United States. It's now.
I know,
it's
but
passed. Where did this happen?
Was someone discriminated against?
Well, it's 10 years in the making.
Oh, you know what? The Afro went out in the 70s. You can't come in here. Nope. Or the long-haired, with the 70s look on a white guy. Oh, no. Long-haired, freaky people not allowed.
We're not worried about gas prices, inflation, energy.
No, we're worried about hairdos.
We're worried about hairdos, and this has been 10 years in the making. So they're pretty proud of this. It's a bill banning discrimination on race-based hairdos.
So this isn't going to be allowed no more?
I don't know. You're going to have to check the bill.
Ma'am, I'd like the number 2 clipper cut on the sides, number 4 on the top. Sorry.
Right. That's against the law. It's against the law. So
we have a bunch of shit going on in Russia and shit, sir, and inflation and everything. But, they found it very important to take the time to pass this act.
Because
every single one of them should be fired.
Listen, it goes back to what we're saying about this, rights being taken away. If you want your hair whatever way you want it, you should be able to do it. We shouldn't need a bill banning discrimination on race-based hairdos. So
why are we wasting our taxpayer dollars?
Exactly. The skinheads, I don't know if that's going to be race-based or not. I don't know. I'm in trouble.
So yeah, Doug, you better go get a toupee. Right. Better go get a cat and shave it. Put some hair in your head.
Right.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's one of the dumbest things I ever heard. We're wasting time on this. But this kind of shit, we ain't watching.
And money, right? And you're going to go to the, I'm sure this is mostly dealing with women, but it could be men. You're going to go and have your hair done. They're going to, no, I'm sorry, you can't have that.
No more beehive. I know you want to look like a, no.
At B, but you can't.
Yeah, you can't. No. We got a book here. No, that hairdo's got an X through it. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, folks.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, folks. That hairdo's set with Yosemite Sam.
and he's out. So it's just bizarre that we are actually.
Greg's got a great point. Greg Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. There's so many laws right now. What we're throwing others in? I mean, we're going down to hairdos now.
Right, but this is how controlling our government is becoming. They're going to control how you wear your hair, and the next thing it's going to be is you can't wear your pants below your waistline, which might not be a bad idea.
Well, yeah. Well, where's that? Don, put Don's post up. Don Cathers. We can't. It's called a recall. How well do you think that'll work with everything going on in the way they got shit now, Don? In my opinion, he didn't even win the election. They got it in. And you don't hear nothing about that no more. That's went away. Mainstream media won't even talk about that. Fox don't even talk about it. And Lord forbid you start posting shit about it. You get 3 days in the pokey. Or they'll restrict your page and who can see it. Just like last week. Our video was restricted last week.
Was it?
Well, I mean, come on.
Oh.
We got, 80 people reached.
Right.
There's only certain times it does that. And Facebook and all their fucking glory and YouTube, we started chirping about how they were restricting us. All of a sudden, in the middle of a show, boom.
Yep.
It started going up, and then it was up for 2 weeks, and then bam. What do you really think we're that stupid? A little old show like ours, you're watching everything we do. You're watching that chat room. Lord forbid somebody says tranny in the chat room. Boom.
Right. And you got all these underground casts that are going on. They're talking about how to do this and how to do that.
And you're watching us.
Right.
Taliban's got Facebook sites, but you're watching us,
Exactly.
We're restricting shit. A little show that, on a good day, if we had 50 people watching, we'd be happy. And you're worried about 52 of us? Come on. No, it's something I'm trying new, so I don't have I got my earbuds that was connected to the thing so I can move around a little better without. So, it's. Get ready. That's all I can say. And once again, we're going, well, what can we do about
exactly. The little stuff like this, like And I guess I'm to blame too, because I should be sending an email to my congressman going, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
What is that about?
You're
Come
voting on
on."
fucking hairdos, and we got
Right,
all this other
right,
shit.
right.
Dude,
If
seriously?
you don't start reducing the costs that I pay, then I'm not voting for you.
Yeah. And what they're
And
going to
that's
say is Nancy Pelosi's comment we see in the beginning of the show. This is all Putin's fault why your gas price. Okay, I can understand that 2-3 weeks from now.
it's not.
Most of this gas that we're using right now wasn't made the other day. Some of this gas, when it went from $3 to $4.50, or I mean $2.50 to $4 almost, some of that gas was sitting in tanks for a while, Doug. Yeah, and then they just jacked it up.
We only get 3% of our gas from Russia. Now,
oil,
I mean, and I just want to show you something. And this has been tried so many times and it fails so many times that I'm not sure why we're doing it again. But they want to don't pump gas on April 15th of 2022. It's not worked in the past. They say it did. I know you can't read it, but they say it worked this day. It worked on this day.
It didn't work.
And there's such a big conglomerate that if all of us on the show quit, they wouldn't even notice.
Guess what? On April 23rd, you're gonna pay $5 a gallon there, motherfucker. How do you like that?
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
They can control it. Yep.
You know, even if it's 10%, even if that number's true, you're at 10%. 90% we're still getting.
Right. And the prices are still where they're at.
Right.
You should have seen a 10% increase when we shut down the Russia pipeline imports or whatever they are.
Yeah, right.
That's what you should have seen.
So at $3, we should have been paying $3.30, not $4.09.
Right.
But now I'm telling you, people, mark my words. I might look stupid and act stupid, but think about what I'm about to tell you. In Sandusky, gas price went down. $3.79 a gallon. It's down under $4 now for diesel. You know, whatever. I mean, you know, it's down. It ain't down under $4. It's like $4.70 instead of $4.99. And that's all we're going to start. Oh, gas prices are coming down. Gas prices are coming down. And we're going to get jammed in the ass on some bill. And then the gas prices are going to go back up. I'm telling you, they're not going away.
Remember in 2008 when they went soaring and they were 380 something, and then they went to $2.79. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, whoa, this is great, $2.79. And that's what's going to happen again. It was up at $4. Now it's going to be $3.50, $3.25. It's going to level off. It's going to be like, wow, finally.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It was $1.89 when Trump was.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep.
You know, I mean, but we had the pipelines going in, you know, and I find it ironic though that Putin comes out, starts chirping that shit about whose accounts he shut down. All of a sudden, gas prices are going down a little, Doug.
Right.
They're going down a little. It's sprinkles. It's COVID's all over.
Except for the first lady's husband.
Yeah, it's done. COVID's, you know, why are we addressing Nancy Pelosi? Why are we addressing COVID? We're really? This is all your fucking bitch ass could talk about.
Right.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. When Trump was in, he's not doing anything. Mm-hmm. Hashtags no bull show.
Hashtag no bull show.
We're gonna really put our name out there.
Cheese pizza. Dean Henry.
And he's got something new.
Thank him all the time, but
steak bites.
Steak bites he had out.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday? Yeah, because Friday was the purge. Steak bites. I tell you, I did see a picture of that.
Did you?
I was, you know, I was on my way home and was looking at going over there. Actually, Debbie was in Bowling Green.
I have to go steal some more pictures off his website.
They don't, Greg, they don't want a middle class. They don't want a middle class. But if you looked at that one congresswoman, when they passed the 1.7 trillion infrastructure bill, remember what we heard, Doug? Middle class will not get taxed for this. That's what Biden and all them said. Middle class will not get taxed for this. She broke it down to where 60 or 70% of that payback was from us, the middle class.
Right.
Sure, you're not getting taxed on your no income tax raise, this, that, or the other. But you're getting taxed on everything else. Gas prices going up, you're paying taxes. You're paying tax, sales tax are going to end up going up. You know, every other tax is going to go up. And guess who buys it? Us.
See, Lori, I don't know if you're drinking or not, but it's no bull show. Yes, they're going to control, and that's how they can control you.
Yeah. And then still lie to you and say, well, we didn't tax you on your income tax.
Right. Too bad
my property tax went up this year. You know. And it's the other way they get you. You used to be able to go down there and say, you got my place appraised at 180 and it's only 140. I want you to come out and give an appraisal. You know, I want a serious appraisal on this. We're going to adjust this. I was scared to death to do that this year. You going to go get her? Hell no. Right. You know, that house sold this and that house sold that. Shit, I might go out there and come back out and, you know, have to pay another $600 a year, you know. So it's.
Now you're getting closer, Lori.
Put the O in front of instead of a G, and you'll have it. It's typing on her phone, I bet. I do that all the time, Lori. So, all right, Doug. What's the next one?
Where do we go from here?
What was the trucker? Say it's the other thing. The truckers. It was 62 miles long.
Right.
What do you see on it?
I haven't seen a word on it. If Mark wouldn't have sent that to me, I would have thought they were done and over with.
62 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. There's another censorship. They, you know. And it was the New York Post, if you can remember, that broke the news in Canada when they said the Canadian police were, you know, taking the gas cans from all the people and that New York Post reporter is the one that was there and said, no, that ain't what happened. The police are carrying the gas to the truckers. And you ain't heard shit. You ain't heard shit about Trudeau and all that bullshit, have you?
Nope. All went away. Sprinkles.
Sprinkles. I started getting the shit suit out of me, so it's over.
All gone. Nothing to see here.
Go find me.
We have to talk about this because it wouldn't be right if we didn't. So let me find it.
I want to get to Ohio politics.
That's what we're getting to right now. So we vote for these people because they're our leaders. And here's the first issue, which was between Mandel and Gibbons.
I filed that with the Federal Elections Commission. You own stock in Chinese Petro.
I personally didn't buy the stock.
You made millions off it, sir.
I don't think I made millions off of anything. I'd love to have made millions off of Chinese Petro. First of all,
Shanghai Shenda and Chinese Petro.
Buying a second, you may not understand this because you've never been in the private. No, you don't.
I do.
You've never been in the private sector in your
entire life. All right, gentlemen. I've worked, sir.
Josh, squat. About
2 tours in Iraq. Don't tell me I haven't worked. Don't tell me I haven't worked.
You don't know squat.
It's okay, right?
You don't know squat.
2 tours in Iraq. Don't tell me I haven't worked.
Back off, buddy. You're gonna
you back off.
Oh, come on. Never that'll happen.
Sit down.
Never.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
We'll square it away with dealing with the wrong dude.
No, you're dealing with the wrong guy. You watch what happens. You watch what happens. All right, guys.
I like the guy on the far right. I didn't see who it was. Sit down. God damn, this is ridiculous.
Right. It was not Mark Pukita.
No, Mark Pukita wasn't invited to that. Why? Because he don't the right people in the party. That's why. So I want to say something, and I told Doug this might be a very, very. Was it Vance? Okay, I love that. Sit down. It's going to be an unpopular comment, and I don't mean it to be. I respect Josh Mandel on one thing. He served our country, Doug. He did 2 tours. He served the country. He used that to get into Treasury, remember?
Right.
And now he's using it again. We understand that you served 2 tours, and we get that. That isn't what Gibbons said. Gibbons said, you've never worked a day in the private sector of your life.
Right.
So I served 2 tours in Iraq. Well,
it's not the private
sector.
So
a whole bunch of other people. You know what I'm saying, Doug?
Right.
So a whole bunch of other people.
And that's not the private sector. Exactly. And I agree with you when he said that. I cringed and I'm like, why did he say that? Why would anybody say that?
It's all we heard when you were running for treasurer. And I get it. But now you're going to run on that again. 2 tours in Iraq has nothing to do with private sector business. What we're talking, he's the one that shot it at Gibbons and brought it up. Now the question of it is, out of all them up on stage, the only person that said, if I get elected, I'm not taking a paycheck from the United States government wasn't on that stage.
Right.
And it was Mark Pukita. Why wasn't he there? He got ramrodded out by, what is that, Freedom of Choice that put that on? I believe it was the people who put that debate on.
All right.
They don't like Mark. Mark's called them out on a couple things. And if you were thinking about voting for that little prick Josh Mandel, I'm telling you right now, that's the kind of mentality you'll see. If it doesn't go his way, he's like a little spoiled little kid. Jump up and throw I'm a veteran, which I respect him for being a veteran, Doug. I said that to you earlier. I respect that. But there comes a point where that shouldn't matter. In private sector business, he's never done one day in the private sector. It's always been government.
Let's go to number 2.
This one's funny.
This one you have to lean in a little bit. You have to turn it up a little bit, and you have to be able to read lips. And I think you'll see Blystone because he stands out.
Yeah,
but right in front of him is going to be DeWine.
This is here you go. All right, number 26. I'm going to tell you on cow power. I'm going to tell you get 5,000. And you get 5,000. On 2,000, 2,100. And you get 21 now, 2. You get 3. You get 3 now, 4. You get 5. You get 25, 6, 7. And you get 7. You get 2,700 now, 8. You get 8, 3. And you get 3, 2.5. You get 2 now, 35. You're out, Cindy.
He threatened Joe Blystone.
Now, if you didn't, we'll play one more time so you can. If you didn't catch where he's at, he's almost dead center in the middle, and
the guy grabs him.
Yeah, you'll see
the guy in the plaid shirt grabs him,
right,
and then.
But he brings him in closer, and he says, and what everybody says he said was,
"I'll kick your ass."
That's what DeWine said.
He might have been talking about the election. But regardless,
yeah, we don't want him getting outbid.
Yeah. So here you go. All right, number 26. I'm going to tell you on cow power. I'm going to tell you get 5,000. And you get 5,000. On 2,000, 2,100. And you get 21 now, 2. You get 3. You get 3 now, 4. You get 4, 5. You get 25, 6, 7. And you get 7. You get 2,700 now, 8. You get 8, 3. And you get 3, 2.5. You get 2 now, 35. You're out, Cindy.
It doesn't look like it was friendly.
Now, who do you want? DeWine gets all wound up. acting like an idiot, and he was. He's all wound up. You see Joe Blystone pretty much standing there almost kind of laughing at him.
Right.
Now, you notice what the trooper did at the end? Shook Joe Blystone's hand. Joe taps him on the shoulder, laughing, turns around. So you know that trooper was laughing.
Right.
You know, and you know, DeWine's done, dude. He's done. I don't see him winning.
Rhino.
Yeah, I know, Greg. You can't hear it, but if you take that clip, I don't know if we put it over in our comment section. You blow it up on your laptop or something. You can read his lips. I'll kick your ass. And it's funny. Shit. You're gonna a cattle farmer? You're gonna whoop a cattle farmer's ass? Shit. Come on, man. That's a dude just pissed around with 1,200-pound steers. You know, you're gonna whoop his ass? Good luck. Good luck. I've seen Joe Blystone in person, and I tell you what, his shirt and his arms were about that big around, Doug, and it wasn't fat. You know, I mean, it's you know, DeWine's in a panic. You know, he's the only reason he signed that gun bill was because if he didn't sign that gun bill, it would just show the Ohio people that for sure he's so indecisive and don't, you know, and he backsteps everything he says. Right. The only reason he signed that gun bill was to try to salvage whatever Republicans are still like him. That's the only reason. Right. How do you go from a year and a half ago in Dayton, the whole deal in Dayton, where you want to restrict guns and have gun laws, to signing a gun bill like that? The only reason you do that, and that's the other thing, DeWine's a Democrat in disguise. You know, he's a rhino. I mean, Keita was there.
Yeah, so we'll get the real story here soon.
Yeah. So it's, you know, you grab a hold of some, listen, I don't give a shit. The way he had a hold of his shoulder and let go like he did, I don't know. Yeah. I hope not, Greg. That's all I can say. I hope not. He gets elected for another 4 years. You thought he was had a Napoleon complex before. Watch it. Whew. It'll be bad. Is it 4 years or 6 years? I think governor's 6, isn't it? I can't remember what the governor
was 4.
I might be 6, but regardless.
All right, let's give away a pizza and some Pepsi.
You know,
you want to do that?
Large pizza,
large
and a Pepsi product from Big D's Pizza, Dean Henry.
Yes. In
Guys,
Ohio.
You know, hold on before you roll it. We talk about Dean, you know, and he does a lot of good things for us and our other show and a whole bunch of things. But let me tell you something. Straight up guy. Good food. And we're not just saying that because he does this shit for us. Trust me. Real good food. Local business. Mom and pop store. If you're in Clyde, Ohio, or not far from Clyde, Ohio, make sure you stop and support Big D's Pizza, please.
Or anywhere. He'll donate if you'd like to donate.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's one of the old boys that there's very few left anymore.
Sorry, don't put vote in the comment. I just seen that. It's No Bull Show.
Yeah.
I don't know why I left that right.
Hashtag No Bull Show. Hi, Ed McKnight.
Hi, Ed McKnight. We ready?
Yes. Roll the dice.
Here we go.
Darn. I think you won a couple times on the other show last year, too.
You're a winner 2 weeks.
Him and Amy. That's all they win. They win constantly. I need to take them to the casino.
Right.
So, yeah, you got 2 weeks to use it, Don. Thanks, Dean Henry. Appreciate you guys. Before I forget, brought the racetrack up. Johnny Newman normally watches the show. His dad's pretty sick right now in the hospital. Want to send prayers out to the Newman family. So hopefully he recovers. And Joe Givens, after this show, before I forget, call me, please, on my cell phone. No, you're not in trouble.
Did you want to take a call now? All right. So you got quite the crop to choose from for Ohio.
I'm going to Picata. Picata and Blackstone.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Do you remember the old murder hornets?
They got now we got flying spiders.
Yes, we do have flying spiders, and apparently they're coming from Georgia. Is where they ended up coming into the country, and then they're taking off from there. They can fly. So
they can fly. Flying spiders.
They can fly. And here's a look at them.
Yep, there they are. Dude, I'd shit my pants. I'm telling you right now, I'm not as scared of spiders as I am midgets, but I'm scared of spiders.
They're 3 inches.
June 18th, I'm going to wrestle midgets. What the hell was I thinking? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're 3 inches big. You know, just their circumference is about 3 inches.
How lethal are they?
Well, that guy's got it in his hand. They say they're not aggressive spiders. Now they will protect themselves, but they're not aggressive.
Well, he ain't protecting himself there.
Well, because there's nothing to protect them. Well, you know, I guess if you put your hand out and they walk on it, they're okay.
Man, them murder hornets got to be pissed.
They just got right out of here.
Well, yeah, well, you know, we got put on the shelf pandemic. We thought, you know, then a sandstorm was coming, and then, you know.
Now there's a war, COVID.
Yeah, we got put in a glass case, and COVID's over.
But these flying spiders.
There's a war, and they decided we weren't going to be badass enough, so they're bringing in flying. So what's next? The flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz? You know? I mean, come on. Flying spiders. When are they supposed to be here?
They are in Atlanta, or not Atlanta. They just plopped down in Atlanta. In Georgia, they came in through Georgia, and they can go up to miles and miles on a what do they call it? They're like that webbing. What is that called? The synthetic stuff. Yeah. They fly. The wind will pick that up, and they'll fly hundreds of miles on that.
Really.
And they just fall out of the sky.
Yeah. Flying 3-inch flying spiders. Aaron's out too.
Flying what?
Yeah, flying spiders, 3 inches. Greg Daniels, if you're still watching, we want the scoop on the 3-inch flying spiders.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
Yeah, because that's where they
He's probably outside sweeping them off his deck right now.
And they also say that they're good hiders, so they'll hide in luggage and things like that, and they get transported that way. Shipped in from China. Yeah.
Shipped in from China. Yeah.
Goodbye, David Lowry.
Yeah. Yeah. You hit one of the key words. Yeah. No shit. I don't know what I'll do. You watch. The night, June 18th at Sandusky Speedway, I'm wrestling midgets. And the night I have to wrestle midgets will be the night the flying spiders come in, too. I'll be screwed, man. 2 of my biggest phobias, and I'll have to deal with them both the same night. Whew, there ain't enough Bud Light being produced for that night for me.
Right. Millions of them will take over the East Coast.
3-inch flying spiders.
Yes.
Like I say, June 18th, you watch it hit Ohio, Sandusky, Ohio. About the time I finally get the courage to step in the ring and look at a couple midgets, going to bite my kneecaps, I'm going to see flying spiders coming down on the lights. That'll be it. I'll faint, pass out.
And you'll get beat. That'll be great.
I'm waiting for the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, murder hornets are pissed. When they do get out, when they break that glass to let them out, they're gonna destroy some shit.
Yeah, they're gonna be pretty upset. Are you a fan of Disney World, Disneyland, Disney parks?
I was probably until tonight, but
Nah, it's not that bad.
What'd they do now? June 18th, Lori.
Yeah. It's on our Speedway website schedule page, highlighted.
I got to wear shin guards so I don't get my shins bit.
You know, that guy is probably watching, and
it's just a small job I got to do that night, Doug.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
All
Disney.
right.
They got midgets, don't they?
Who? Disney?
Yeah.
They had the dwarfs, but
okay. All right.
They're all in trouble.
Yeah. They let the prince kiss Snow White while she was sleeping. Go ahead, Doug. I'm sorry.
So there was a older couple in their 70s that got turned away at the gate because they had bought tickets but did not make a reservation. So when you go to Disney's website, you can buy tickets, and then you have to reserve what date you're going to be there because they still have some COVID things that they follow. You know, they don't pack the park in.
It was just like Cedar Point was.
Yeah, so they're only going to let 100,000 in instead of 200,000 in.
Mm-hmm.
So they got turned away, and then the guy that started all this says, absolutely amazing to see 70-year-old couple turned away at the gate because they had bought tickets, but they did not make a reservation for today. And one of the responses to this, and this is where, Chris will be running around the ring. One of the responses was, it's not hard to make reservation. They plaster it all over the website when you buy tickets. Old folks like to complain about kids today not being able to read. I am fine holding them to the same standard. So now, not only do we have black against white, we have old against young. And would you have turned them away? You would have told
listen to me.
Sounds like you're going to.
Are they the only old people that went to Disney World?
Yeah.
They are? So everybody else was under 50 that day, huh?
Right. Huh. Well, the other ones may have made reservations.
Well, I know where you're going with this. Do I think it's right? No. But you know what? Everybody else got to abide by that.
Okay, so if we had a restriction on how many people to track, and two people walk up, they're 70 years old, they already bought their tickets, they just didn't make a reservation, you would turn them away.
No, because we're never over our capacity, whatever restrictions.
But if we are and were, I don't think you would have. You would have made sure they got in there.
Pete Shade from the Erie County Health Commissioner. Yes, Doug, I would have abided by the health code rules. No, I wouldn't. No, I don't think it's right that they got turned away. I don't agree with that. But on the flip side of that, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? That's all I'm asking. And me and you've had this conversation a couple times about when we're jammed in the butt with the pandemic at track. We had conversations about this. Where do you draw the line?
Exactly, but I'm sure that they have room for two more people.
You know what I'd have done? I'd have said, listen, I'm going to put your reservation in for tomorrow. Here's the hotel. I have your room set up. Go enjoy yourselves for the night. Come back tomorrow.
That would have been nice.
And you know that's what I'd have done.
And Disney.
You know I'd have done something like that.
They could have drove from Georgia.
It's in writing on all the websites, and I guarantee you, Don, I guarantee you when you bought the tickets, it was in writing that you had to make a reservation and that. They just missed it.
Right. And it happened.
So, and here's the problem. Now I see both sides. Here's the problem. So you let them in. That word goes around, and next week, you got 150 people walking up. Oh, I forgot. I didn't know. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It can be a domino effect.
I should send you the picture of those two holding hands walking away.
Well, I can just turn TV
in their walkers.
They weren't in their walkers going to Disney World. You're talking about embellishing. You know, they're walking to Disney World. They ain't in walkers. And they weren't on their go-bees there, the scooters, you know, because, no.
How bad?
I'm an asshole, I guess. I don't know, but I'm just saying that I see both sides. But I also, I see Disney World side. You bought tickets, you seen it. It's probably in bold print. It's everywhere. You got to make a reservation. So where do they stop? If they allow them to come in, and then you do have a younger couple doesn't have a reservation standing right behind them, you got to allow them to come in too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Well, then where's it stop? Then you might as well get rid of reservations.
First of all, if I'm running Disney World, I'm saying our capacity is this, but we have a buffer of this. So let's not use the buffer unless we absolutely have to.
Capacity is 100,000 or 120,000, and you're saying 100,000 because you got a 20,000 buffer just put out. Why? Well, that's not good business because now you might only get 105,000.
Nobody knows that.
Yeah, but if you get 105,000 come in, you just lost $15,000 worth.
You're not assuming that 20,000 people are stupid. Don't read.
Oh, yeah, 80 million people were stupid.
You got your 10%ers.
81 million people were pretty fucking stupid when they hit the voting polls.
Well,
I'm gonna assume
that was
10,000 can be stupid. Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, because I'm right. 81
no,
million.
You're not.
No.
Well, yeah. That was a pure 81 million people.
There's some
dead, alive, foreign, undocumented, but they were. All right, you ready for this one? I'm going to let the news station tell you about this.
Look at that. I like that one. All right, go ahead. Well, that's free. Shit. We're giving them bus rides in.
Right, it doesn't go by twos down there. Because
sorry, you're 70, but that busload just come in from Biden for Disney World. They can come in. Lord forbid we hurt their feelings.
And I'm really surprised Disney's doing that because they're in Florida and California, but they're in Florida and that guy is completely against COVID.
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to let the news station tell you what happened here because every time I bring something up, it just seems like I'm bringing it out of thin air. Just making something up.
It has to be about schools.
Here it is. It's about schools. Here's our school corner. Are you all ready? Here we go.
Yep.
New tonight, an overt display of racism is lighting up social media feeds in Terrebonne Parish. It involves a white student throwing what appears to be cotton at a black student and slapping him with what looks like a belt. Well, tonight, both parents and alumni at Vanderbilt Catholic High School are outraged. Devin Bartolotta has more from Homa.
The Archdiocese says the incident happened here on Wednesday. By Thursday, there was a sheriff's office investigation and a video seen parish-wide. You can see here a white student walks up behind a black student at lunch, throws a handful of cotton balls onto the table and begins to slap him with a belt. Then the black student pushes. This all happened at Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Houma Wednesday afternoon.
You know, we can't sweep this under the rug. We can't push this off and make this more skeletons in the closet.
PJ Allridge is a Vanderbilt alumnus and coached the student who was hit with the belt. He's also friends with the child's family. He says the young man is one of few non-white students at the school.
That's Vanderbilt? Like, this is Vanderbilt. Houma, right here, not that far from where I live. A school I went to, a school that I represent, a school that I coached at. And to see it, it's hurting that we're living in a time such as 2022. Where it's like we're not in the 50s, we're not in the 60s.
The Archdiocese issued a statement Thursday saying there's no tolerance for racist or bullying behavior, writing, quote, "Yesterday's actions by a few are not consistent with the values and mission of our school." The parents of the child who was targeted also issued a statement in that press release thanking people for their support and writing, quote, "We will continue to pray for our school community as a whole, that we not only get through this together, but that we each learn a valuable lesson for what has taken place." The family met with school administrators and the sheriff's office, who says they've opened an investigation. The ACLU of Louisiana calls it inexcusable.
This was a child who thought that what he was doing was okay, potentially even funny. When we think about bullying, when we think about young children who experience bullying and what happens to them, this is how it starts.
But at least one alumni is hoping this video is where it will stop, and educators at Vanderbilt will use this as a moment to teach. The Archdiocese has not named the student involved and won't comment on any disciplinary action, but says the school is following its policy. In Houma, Devin Bartolotta, Eyewitness News.
We're in Louisiana.
Yeah, New Orleans. Or down south of New Orleans.
There's no call for that. The kid should be expelled, kicked out of school. It's a private school, Catholic school. Yep, gone. Gone. Yeah. You're right, Greg. You're right. But it leads me to ask this question. Why didn't nobody jump up? I mean,
Like
that kid might not have got up to defend himself because it might be a racist school. There might be a lot of racism in that school, and he was scared to jump up because, get his ass whooped. Trust me when I tell you that there's no call for that. And I'm going to say some stuff that's probably going to get us in trouble on here, but I don't care. There's no call for that, for any sort of that. The kid needs kicked out of the school, gone. Bam. It's a private school, gone. It can expel him right now. Go back to public school, see how that works for you. You know what I'm saying, Doug? Where it's evened out, on race. But what do you expect? Our country started to create this divide again. And that coach hit it on the head. We're back to the 50. We're back. Our country created this divide. You put our government and everything that's going on that's being allowed, put discrimination and racism back to the 60s, Doug.
Right.
To the 60s.
That's the only reason I brought it up, not so much on that particular incident, but the fact that we're teaching CRT in our schools and we're bringing up all this stuff that occurred back in the 50s and 60s. Why? There's a history there, but why do we need to break it down like CRT does?
The government right now, the administration wants divide. And they're taking, I'm telling you what's going on. And I talked to a black guy about it. They're taking, here's what's going on in the black community. Now you got to divide in the black community. If you disagree with any of this, you're an outcast. The right. CRT, if you don't like Biden, you're an outcast. If you say CRT is bad, you're an outcast. There's divides in the whites over shit like this. It's not just a black and white divide. There's a white and white divide, black and black divide. And, there's no reason. If that's going on in that school, how many schools are going on and ain't caught? Just like we had last week. They were selling slaves.
Yes.
What the fuck is going on in our world? That we gotta, I mean, when I grew up, there was racism. Trust me, not like this. You know, back when I grew up, you did that. You were in a fist fight. Trust me. Black, white, purple, brown. I don't care. Pink person was. You'd be in a fist fight. You know.
But you know, if and I'm not a teacher, but I would think that if I'm teaching about that era, I would just say that there was blacks and whites, and you know, that this kid obviously knows that they were cotton pickers and they got whipped and all this other stuff. So how far are we going in schools of teaching this? Because he didn't come up with it just by, you know, let's go do this, it'll be funny.
No, and the thing of it is, there's no call for it. It ain't because my grandbabies are half black, 2 of them. Doug, it has nothing to do with that, because I get that thrown in my face sometimes. Well, you're only saying that because, you know, now you got to, whatever. No, it's not. There's no call for it. But on the whole flip side of this, our government and this woke generation, and let me tell you something. There's no call for the KKK or Aryan Nation. Just like Black Lives Matter, not all Black Lives Matter. A lot of them groups, though, that sprung off that say Black Lives Matter, there's no call for them. They teach the same thing. Antifa teaches the same thing. They're hate groups. There's no reason that they shouldn't be dealt with. This should be dealt with harshly in that school. Harshly. You want to fix a problem, you bring them all together and teach them, you're a person. You're a good person or a bad person. Don't matter, black, white, purple, whatever. You're a good person or you're a bad person. Period. You know, y'all bleed red. You know what I mean, Doug? Y'all bleed red. You're a human being. And this is shit that's being taught because of all the bullshit being injected in. We are creators of our own demise right now. And so many people don't even see it. And it all comes from that place in Washington, D.C., backing this shit. He's the son of a bitch. He's got a lot of balls sitting up there talking, there's no reason for this. When he's on tape saying about public schools, remember that? When he was a congressman or a senator, I can't remember, it was way years ago, about busing. I'm not sending the kids to a jungle. Well, what do you mean by that, Joe? What did you mean by that?
Remember when him and Cantala sparred in the debates about he was for segregation, and all that stuff.
Amnesia set in with him, didn't it?
Yeah, well, more than that.
You know, he played a video, you know, of him saying shit through the years. How do you get out of that? Now all of a sudden, and this happens on that side. That's why I ain't on that side. I'm still registered that, but they want to tell you something today. In 3-4 weeks from now, I'll tell you something totally opposite. And you're supposed to not remember what they said today. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to dig deep. Black Lives Matter dumped a lot of money in the Democratic Party for Joe Biden. And let's go back to that. You want to bring that up. The campaign trail, remember? We're going to defund some of the police departments, Remember all that shit Joe Biden was talking, all that shit, trying to get the black vote and everything? He gets elected in December, right after he got elected, and all that was done in December, when it was actually after an insurrection. It was in January before he got sworn in. He met with Al Sharpton and a bunch of the black leaders in the country. So I can't do that. I can't defund the police. Remember that, Doug? I was living. He ain't even sworn in yet and going back on his campaign promises. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. How many schools that shit go on and don't get cut? Last week we show about how they're selling kids as slaves, this, that, and the other. This week we're showing that kind of shit. What the fuck is going on in our school systems? Whoever put that up there, you're right. It should have never made the news even, really. What should have made the news, that report should have been, this kid went and did this, da-da-da-da, and then there goes the ambulance with him to the hospital.
Right, yeah.
That's what should have made the news. And these other kids, where were the other kids? This is what pisses me off. And this is, people, this is what generation, and this is what, because I can tell you this, if that was my friend and I was sitting there, white or black, and someone walked up and started doing that and hit him with the belt, I'd be jumping over him to beat his ass. You know, at that age especially. Whatever. We're screwed. We're screwed.
Yeah. From our government and our schools.
Until it's straightened out at the top, our schools are not going to get any better.
Right. Because
they're being allowed to do dumb shit. And there's no repercussion. I mean, there's no true repercussions. And if you think, well, it's in Louisiana, this, that, we've showed you dumb shit in Ohio, Frederickstown, Hudson. The list goes on. Down where you live. You know, the dumb shit that happened to the kid talk to. Mm-hmm. The list goes on. We all need to start holding our schools accountable. What we all need to start doing is get a group together and go to board meetings, school board meetings. What are you doing? Where's the curriculum? What are you teaching our kids? You want to arrest us for being domestic terrorism because we're talking about something you don't want to address? You know, let's not forget about that whole ordeal. Whatever.
It fit the narrative at the time.
It's the time.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I got there, Captain.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't know. I was then saying the same shit, you know.
Got to make a change.
Go vote. Got to make a change. And Mike Rutherford hit it earlier when, you know, we're just sitting there. He put #vote. You're right. You're right. You know, I can accept if you vote like I have a hard time accepting it now, but if you voted for Biden, at least you went out and you voted. But I'm telling you, we got to vote people in that are going to make a change, not just talk about it, and a good change, you know?
Yes. I don't know that it went that far, but I do remember seeing the story. We did touch on that about a month or so ago.
Okay, and now here, my kid come home and said, Dad, I recognize myself as a cat. Can you put a litter box in? No, but you got about 5 minutes. You better start running. 5 minutes for what? Well, I'm going to call 911 for you. It's going to take them about 5 minutes to get here. And I don't know what I'd do.
Get ready to sleep outside.
I sure wouldn't support it. I wouldn't support it. What the hell's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
You're not
you
a
want
cat.
to be a cat? Okay. You want to identify? Okay. Tomorrow morning I get up for breakfast, I'd have some kitty chow sitting there. What's that? That's your breakfast.
On the floor.
Right next to the water. You want to identify as a cat? Okay, here we go. Here we are. You're going to get treated as a cat.
Our kitties go outside and use the bathroom, not in the house.
Yeah, there's your litter box, a little 2x2 box. What? It's in the kitchen. I'll take your shit in the kitchen. Cat does. You know what I mean? And when you're done, bury it. So I ain't got to look at it. Bury it in the litter. You know? They only want to identify as... Here we go. They only want to identify. I think I don't know what goes through that. They only want to identify it because we've allowed this as a country. I'm identifying as a woman. I'm identifying as this. I'm identifying. Well, that's great. We got special. Oh yeah. We now we got people identifying as cats. I wonder. You got to get you neutered. Got to get you neutered. Yeah, sleep out in the barn tonight. You know. So if I go to the bank tomorrow, can we help you, Mr. Ryan? Yeah, I identify as the bank manager today. Can you let me in the vault?
Right.
All right, what are you going to say?
More and more, if you go online and you're filling out something or you're doing a survey or anything, and they say, would you mind answering a few more questions for demo? They get their demo. How old are you? And when it gets to sex, it will say male, female, or non-binary. Probably 90% of them say that now. Non-binary, that means I can be pretty much anything I want to be. Okay, we've touched on everything we could possibly touch on.
All right, people. Make sure you vote.
Yeah, we need to change some things.
Please. I mean,
we don't know when our primary is going to be, but whenever it is.
It's in June sometime.
No. They voted down the fourth version now.
So now it'll be in July.
I don't know.
Our elections are going to get put off. You watch. We'll be doing the main election in December sometime. And you know what? We ain't even got into that yet. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. Eric Holder and Barack Obama's group that's going to each state and doing this. So vote. That's all I can say. You seen DeWine with his panties in a wad tonight. That's funny shit. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him go up and talk to Joe Blystone, blow him some shit without all them security people around.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, Joe Blystone wasn't even fazed by it.
No.
Isn't that the kind of leader you want that doesn't get shook real quick like that?
Trump was like that too. He didn't care what anybody had to say about anything.
No. The mean tweets.
I don't think you're going to see Trump come back in 2024, but somebody like him is going to be there. DeSantis or somebody like that.
Or Texas's governor. What's his name?
Somebody that's outspoken. And
well, thank you for watching.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Oh, good.
I tried to maintain tonight.
And you did.
So, Facebook. There you go.
Wow.
YouTube. There you go. The rest of you, God bless y'all and God bless America. Have a good night, people.
All right. And we will see you next week.